How does it compare working on your more modern stuff than it does for the classics like Dickens and Tessa d'Urberville's, things like this you brought to the big screen?
The hard thing when you adapt your own work is to a lesser or greater degree, it's autobiographical. There's things you've lived through and things you've seen. With Dickens, you have to have a little bit more distance. You have to be very reverent to the text and try and be as faithful as you possibly can, but you also have to make difficult decisions. You have to cut things that you really, really love in the book. So that's the hardest thing.
And what about changes? Because you've gone for something a little bit different, haven't you, this time?
Well, not hugely. There's hardly anything in the film that doesn't happen somewhere in the book. I haven't invented a great deal of dialogue. Most of the dialogue is from Dickens. I've just changed the plot slightly just to fit it in. If you read the book aloud, it would take 18 hours, and we only have 120 minutes, so you have to be tough.
Has it had added pressure on you because it's the 200th anniversary of his birth this year, that the film's coming out in that year?
I wrote the script about 4 years ago, but it all sort of came together just in time. I mean, here we are in October, the film comes out in November, so we just snuck in under the wire. It wasn't something we particularly worried about. We wanted to get the film right.
And you've got an amazing cast, of course. How happy were you when all these guys came on board?
Brilliant. I mean, they're an amazing cast. I couldn't have hoped for a better one. I think Helena is the part she was born to play. Rafe is amazing, Mesmeric as Magwitch. Jason Flemyng is so good and so touching as Joe Gargery. The young actors, fantastic. I mean, it's a book about youth, and you really get a sense that they're 19, that they don't know what they're doing, that they're making these mistakes.
It's interesting, isn't it? You mentioned Rafe as Magwitch there, and there's some kind of people who was like, I would have thought Rafe would be Mr. Jaggers and Robbie would be Magwitch, which is interesting that you've kind of gone against that a little bit. So that's...
Yes, I think Rafe feels that as well, but he's so good. I mean, he's scary, Rafe. He really is. And Magwitch is scary, and he has terrific charisma. I think in the book, Magwitch is not just a simple thug. And Rafe gets all that tenderness and love as well as being incredibly scary.
And finally, tell me a little bit in the set, what kind of larks you had when you were on set?
I don't go on set very much. All I do is eat the biscuits and get in the way, so I stay clear. So I didn't go a lot on set. I'm afraid I don't have many stories about that.
What can we look forward to next then?
A TV play, a two-part TV play, an original which is coming out next year, and then a new novel, and then maybe Far from the Madding Crowd by Thomas Hardy, but I'm not sure yet.